He had stayed still a second too long. The bludger had hit him at last, smashed into his eyeball, and Harry felt his arms break. Dimly, dazzled by the searing pain in his arms, he slid sideways on his rain-drenched broom. One knee was still crooked over it, his right arm juggling useless at his side. The bludger came prattling back for a second attack, this time aiming at his face. Harry swerved out of the way, one eye firmly locked in his stub brain. Get to my friend. But to heads of rain and pain, he dived for the sneering face below his and saw his eyes widen with fear. Malfoy thought Harry was attacking him. What the? He gasped, carrying out of Harry's way. Harry took his remaining hand off his broom and made a wild snatch. He felt his fingers close on the toe snatch, but was now only gripping the broom with his legs, and there was a yell from the crowd below as his head stretched for the ground, trying hard to not pass out. With splashing thought he hit mud and rolled off the broom. His arm was hanging at a very strange angle. Breathed with pain, he heard, a threat from a distance, a good deal of whistling and shouting. He focused on the snitch clutching in his good hand. "Aha!" he said vaguely. "We have won!" And he fainted. He came around, rain falling on his face, still lying on the pitch with someone leaning over him. He saw a glitter of teeth. "Oh no, not you!" he muttered. "Doesn't know what he is seeing," said Lockhart loudly to the anxious crowd of Gryffindors pressing from around them. "Not to worry, Harry. I am about to fix your arm." "No," said Harry. "I'll keep it like this, thanks." He tried to sit up, but the pain was terrible. He heard a familiar creaking noise nearby. "I don't want photo of this, Colin," he said loudly. "Lie back, Harry," said Lockhart softly. "It's a simple trial I have used countless times. Why can't I just go to the hospital wing?" said Harry, thoughtfully teeth. "He should really, Professor," said a moody old, who couldn't help grinning even thought his sinker was injured. "Great capture, Harry. Really spectacular. Your best yet, I'd say." Touched the thick cut of the legs around him. Harry spotted Fred and John, Weasley whistling the roach bludger into a box. It was still plotting up a terrific fight. "Stand back," said Lockhart, who was rolling up his jet green lips. "No, don't," said Harry weakly. But Lockhart was right, triggering his wand to a second lateral had directed its way at Harry's arm. A strange and unpleasant sensation started at Harry's shoulder and spread all the way down to fingers' tips. It felt as though his arms were being jostled. He didn't dare look at what was happening. He had shut his eyes, his face turning away from his arms, but his worst fears were realized as the people above him gasped and Colin Creevy began to click it away madly. His arm didn't hurt anymore, but nor did it remotely like an arm. "Ah," said Lockhart. Yes, well, that can sometimes happen. But the bonds are no longer than broken. That is the thing to bear in mind." So Harry just started up to the hospital wing. "Ah, Mr. Weasley, Mr. Granger, wouldn't you excited him, and Madame Pomfrey will be able to tidy you up a bit." As Harry got his feet, he felt strangely lost at it. Taking a deep breath, he looked down at his right side. What he saw nearly made him pass out again. Poking out of the end of his robe was looking at the thick, flesh-colored rubber glove. He tried to move his fingers. Nothing happened. Lockhart had made Harry respond. He had removed them. Madame Pomfrey wasn't at all pleased. "You should have come straight to me," she rocked, holding up the slitted remnant of what, half an hour before, had been a walking arm. "I can mend bones in a second, but growing them back, you'll able to, won't you?" said Harry respectfully. "I'll able to," said Charlie, "but it will be painful," said Madame Pomfrey grimly, throwing Harry a pair of green pajamas. "You'll have to stay the night." Hermione waited outside the curtain around Harry's bed while Ron helped him into his pajamas. It took a while to stuff the robbery. Ball's arm into stiff. "How can you stick up for the Lockhart now, Hermione?" Ron coldly touched the curtain as they pulled Harry's limp fingers touched the cuff. If Harry had wanted deboning, he would have asked. Anyone can make a mistake, said Hermione. And it doesn't hurt any more, does it, Harry? No, said Harry, but it doesn't do anything else either. He swung himself onto the bed, his arm flapped politically. Hermione and Madame Pomfrey came around the curtain. Madame Pomfrey was holding a large bottle of something labeled "Sick Girl." "You are in for a rough tonight," she said, pouring out a streaming gratefully and handing it to me. Regrowing bones is a nasty business. He was taking the second grow. It burned Harry's mouth and throwing it as it went down, making him catch and sputter. Still talking about dangerous and int teachers, Madame Pomfrey retreated, leaving Ron and Hermione to have Harry grumble down some water. "We won, that," said Ron, a grin breaking across his face. "That was something to make. Malfoy say he looked really to kill. I want to know he fixed that blunder," said Hermione darkly. "We can add that to the list of questions we will ask him when we have taken the Polyjuice motions," said Harry, sinking back onto his pillows. "I hope it tastes better than this stuff. If it has got bits of cinnamon in it, you have got to be joking," said Ron. The door of the hospital wing was open at the moment, swiftly and soaking wet. The rest of the Gryffindor team had arrived to see Harry. "Unbelievable flying, Harry," said George. "I could just see Marcus Finn yelling at Malfoy. Something about having the snitch on top of his head and not noticing." Malfoy didn't seem too happy. They had brought cakes, sweated, and bottles of pumpkin juice. They gathered around Harry's bed, were just getting started on the what promised to be good as party when Madame Pomfrey came swarming over, shouting that this boy needs rats. He got 33 bombs of Grigro. Out! Out! And Harry was left alone, with nothing to distract him from his stabbing pains in his limp arm. Hours and hours later, Harry walked quite steadily in the pitch blackness and gave a small jab of pain. His arm now felt full of large splinters. For a second, he thought it was that which had woken him. Then, with a thrill of horror, he realized that someone was spawning his forehead in the dark. "Get off!" he said loudly, and then, "Dobby!" The hours-long galling tennis ball were eyes peering at Harry through the darkness. A single tear was running down his long powdered nose. Harry Potter came back to the school. He was miserable. Dobby wanted Harry Potter. Sire, why didn't you hit Dobby? Why didn't Harry Potter go back home when he missed the train? Harry heaved himself up on his pillows and pushed Dobby's spawn away. "What are you doing here?" he said. "And how did you know I missed the train?" Dobby's lips trembled and Harry was seized by a sudden distraction. "It was you," he said slowly. "You stopped the barrier letting us touch." "Indeed, yes, sir," said Dobby, nodding his head recklessly, ears flapped. Dobby hid and watched for Harry Potter and slid the way gate, and Dobby had to arrow after. He showed Harry 10 long, balanced fingers, but Dobby didn't care, sir, for he thought Harry Potter was safe. And never did Dobby dream that Harry Potter would get to school another way. He was rocking backwards and forwards, shaking his ugly head. Dobby was so shocked when he heard that Harry Potter was back at Hogwarts. He let his master's dinner burn. Such a flogging Dobby never had seen. Harry slumped back into his pillow. "You nearly got Ron and me expelled," he said fiercely. "You'd better clear off before my bonds come back, Dobby, or I might strain with you." Dobby smiled weakly. "Dobby easy to death treats. Sir, Dobby gets from 5 times a day at home." He belted his nose in a corner of Why did you think when I did thing, Dobby? He asked curiously. This, sir, said Dobby, pocketing at the pillows. That's a mark of the House of Asmond. Sir, Dobby can only be fed if his master presents him with clothes. Sir, the family is careful not to pass Dobby even a sock. Sir, for then he would be free to leave their house to forever. Dobby mopped his gobbling eyes and said suddenly, Harry Potter must go home. Dobby thought his brother would be enough to make your bladder? Said Harry, Andrew rising once more. What do you mean? Your bladder? You meant the bladder trying and kill me. Not kill you, sir. Never kill you, said Dobby, shocked. Dobby wants to save Harry Potter's life. Better stand home, grievously injured, than remain here, sir. Dobby only wanted Harry Potter hot enough to be sent home. Oh, is that all? Said Harry angrily. I don't persuade you are going to tell me why you wanted me sent home in peace. If Harry Potter only knew, Dobby growled, more tears dripping onto his grandkid's pillowcase. If he know what he did, what he means to us, the events that us he dregs of the magic cold word. Dobby remembers how it was when he who must not be named was at the head of his powers. Sir, we house elves were treated to like vermin. Sir, of course, Dobby is still treated like that. Sir, he admitted trying his face on the treated like that. Sir, he admitted trying to, but mostly Sir had embroidered your mind from a kite since you trapped. Over he must not be named. Harry Potter swept, and the Dark Lord's powers was broken, and it was a dew dime. Sir, and Harry Potter shone like a beacon of hope for the thought who thought the dark days would never end, sir. And now, at Hogwarts, terrible things are to happen, and Parastop happened already. And now we cannot let Harry Potter stay here now that history is repeated itself. Now that the Chamber of Secrets is opens one more. Dobby froze, heart-struck, then grabbed Harry's water jug from his bedside table and cracked it over his owl head. Toppling out of sight, a second later, he crawled back onto the bed, cross-eyed, muttering, Bad Dobby! Very bad Dobby! So, there is a Chamber of Secrets? Harry whispered. And did you say it's been opened before? Tell me, Dobby! He shouted out pony words at Dobby swam, inching towards the water jug. But I'm not a Muggle born. How can I be in danger from the chamber? Sir, ask no more of poor Dobby, stammered the elf, his eyes hugged in the dark. Dark deaths are planted in the place, but Harry Potter must not be here when they happen. Go home, Harry Potter. Go home, Harry Potter. Must not in the sea. Sir, this is too dangerous. Without Dobby, Harry said, keeping a firm holding on Dobby's word to stop it and hitting himself the water jug again. Who is opening it? Who opened it last time? Dobby can, sir. Dobby can. Dobby mustn't tell. Scratched the elf. Go home, Harry Potter. Go home. I'm not going anywhere, said Harry frostily. One of my best friends is Muggle born. She'll be first in line of the chamber really has been opened. Harry Potter risks his own life for his friends, moaned Dobby, in a kind of miserable exactly. So noble, so valiant. But he must save himself. He must. Harry Potter must not. Dobby suddenly froze, his bright ears quivering. Harry heard it too. Their footsteps coming down the passageway outside. Dobby must go, whistled the elf, terrified. Though there was a loud crack, and Harry's fist was suddenly clenched on his arm. He slumbered back into his bed, his eyes on the dark doorway, the hospital wings at the footsteps drawn near. Next moment, the Dumbledore was backing into the door mystery, wearing a long, woolly dressing gown at the nightcap. He was carrying one end of the lot looking like a statue. Professor McGonagall appeared a second later, carrying a sweep. Together, they heaved it onto a bed. That Madame Pomfrey whispered Dumbledore, and Professor McGonagall hurried past the end of Harry's bed out of sight. Harry lay quite still, pretending to be asleep. He heard and grasped voice, and then Professor McGonagall stepped back into view, closely followed by Madame Pomfrey, who was pulling a cardigan and over her nightdress. He heard a sharp intake of breath. What happened? Madame Pomfrey whispered to Dumbledore, bending over the statue on the bed. Another attack, said Dumbledore. Me never found him on the stairs. There was a bunch of grapes next to him, said Professor McGonagall. We think we will try to sneak up here to visit Potter. Harry's stomach gave a horrible lurch. Slowly and carefully, he raised himself in so he could look at the statue on the bed. A ray of moonlight lay across his staring face. It was cold and creepy. His eyes were wide and his hands were stuck up in front of him, holding his camera. Petrified, whispered Madame Pomfrey. Yes, said Professor McGonagall, but I shudder to think if Albus had been on the way downstairs for hot chocolate, who knows what might have? Three of them stared down at Colin. Then Dumbledore lunged forwards and planted the camera on Colin's wrinkled grip. You don't think he managed to get a picture of his attacker? Said Professor McGonagall eagerly. Dumbledore didn't answer. He pressed open the back of the camera. Good gracious, said Madame Pomfrey. A jet of steam had seized out of the camera. Harry, 3 beds away, caught a crisp smell of burning plastic. Melt, said Madame Pomfrey wonderingly. Oh, melt! What does it mean? Albus. Professor McGonagall asked aggressively. It means, said Dumbledore, that the Chamber of Secrets is indeed open again. Madame Pomfrey clapped a hand to her mouth. Professor McGonagall started at Dumbledore. But Amos, surely? Who? The question is not who, said Dumbledore, his light on Colin. The question is how. And from what Harry could see of Professor McGonagall's shadowy face, she didn't understand this any better than he did.